It says we are.
Welcome, everyone, to another Telehealth Today Monday morning meeting. It is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday, July 8th. I am James Hungs, the founder of Telehealth Today. And as you all know, every week we have a different special guest, and that guest tells you what you could expect and how they could help you if you were to book with them. So today we actually have Mr. Martin Sørnes, and he is an audiologist. And so if you have ever experienced a challenge in hearing or anything similar, or even more, he's going to tell you all about it. So without further ado, I give to you, Martin. Take it away. The stage is yours. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, hello, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Uh, I am Martin Sørnes, and I'm the founder of Hero Medical Incorporated, which is devoted to develop a new way to test hearing. But what I can offer to through telehealth today is consultations on hearing and tinnitus. So a lot of people in this world have problems with their hearing. Uh, Globally, about 1.5 billion people have hearing issues. Um, so this is something that kind of it's affects us all in one way or another. Uh, I'll a lot of even if you're not in the group of 1.6 billion today, chances are about 100% that you will be if you grow old enough. And everybody knows somebody with hearing issues. And through Telehealth today, I can be available also for uh, people wondering how to best treat their mother, or father, or whoever it should be. Uh, Usually, it's people don't really know enough about hearing, and I can provide the information needed, so you easily or more easily can address the problems you're facing. So if you have problems with your hearing aids, I'm available. If you have yeah questions about how the hearing works, or if you are wondering, do I have a hearing loss? I can guide you to the right channels, so you get everything properly addressed. So you know there's a problem with hearing loss, which is that people usually go around with a disabling hearing loss for about 5 years before they try to find help. And that's a shame, because in those 5 years a lot of bad things can happen, because when you get a hearing loss, you kind of enter a vicious circle. And these vicious circles are very hard to escape sometimes. But getting your hearing in order with a hearing aid is kind of a way out of these vicious circles. You know, about there's this scientific article where they had an interview with clients coming out of the door from the audiologist, and often the clients had missed up to 75% of the information given in the first consultation, which is a lot, you know. And why is it like that? A lot of it has to do with people are old and getting a lot of information at the same time without having kind of the kind of having a place to hang the information, if you know. So it's a lot of new information given in very short time. And this is the reason, I think, why it's so hard to remember. And there is where I come in for telehealth today, where you can call if you wonder about anything, you know. And I am very I'm not a perfect English speaker, as you can hear, but but I'm very much a people's man. So so I promise I will take you seriously and address your questions with all my expertise. I have been working as an audiologist in both hospitals and private clinics, and yeah, I know my field, so to say. So today, hearing aids, all the 6 giant hearing aid producers in the world have developed their own telemedicine apps. So hearing aids from 2023 surely got a telemedicine option. And this is very simple, because I can sit in Norway and adjust your hearing aid in the US. And this can be this makes it easy to do, and I'm really good at adjusting hearing aids. So that's one of my strengths, so to say. This telemedicine solutions is kind of making audiology care way easier. It's simplifying the process a lot, because now you don't really have to call your audiologist and get on this waiting list and get a time in say 14 days a week or something like that. Now you can get it instantly through telehealth today, you know. And that's often with hearing aids, the problems are very acute. So you kind of need the instant help. It's getting an appointment 1 week later. You may have even already given up and put your hearing aids in that drawer, which you shouldn't have to do. It's very important to use your hearing aids as much as you can to make them work best possible for you. So you get this adaptation time, you know. Every time you get a new hearing aid, you get to adapt to the new way of hearing. And this can be kind of very tiresome. You get kind of really exhausted because it takes so much energy to try to hear what people are saying. If you're not used to the signal entering your brain, you know. So it's very important to have this adaptation time and know about these processes, you know. There are processes with hearing loss, and you should know each and every one of them. And I can tell you more about them, you know, so that it will be easier for you to overcome the problems you are facing. And often you just need to know some facts, you know. Often it's why should I do this, you know, is a frequent way of thinking, and I can give you the answers to that. Then we have another group that I hope to help through Telehealth today, and that's tinnitus clients. Tinnitus can be a really severe problem. You know, in the world today, 840 million people have constant tinnitus to some extent. The real problems with tinnitus kind of occurs when you no longer can focus away from the tinnitus. And listening to your own tinnitus works as an amplifier. So that's really a bad thing. The worst thing you can do with tinnitus is to listen to your own tinnitus. That's rule number one. Then you get possibilities to. I often say when you become aware of your own tinnitus, put on another sound source and adjust the volume so that you can still hear your tinnitus, but focus on the other sound source, because that's that way you are training yourself to not focus on your tinnitus, and that's very important. A lot of people kind of with tinnitus, I talked about vicious circles some time ago with the hearing loss, but with tinnitus we are talking a whole different level, and often it comes with hyperacusis at the same time, oversensitivity for sound. So it's and in the worst cases are really hard to deal with, and then you need to meet a human being that can understand you and that can actually help you overcome and give you the best practices to overcome. You can't. The hard thing with tinnitus, it never goes away, but you can actually decrease the sensation of tinnitus with up to 70%, you know. So, and then you can focus on your life and what makes you happy. So that's kind of a good advice to people with tinnitus. Focus away from tinnitus. Focus on the good things in life, you know. But yet again, you get problems sometimes that makes tinnitus sufferers antisocial, because it's too much noise. It's very uncomfortable. So it's very important to know what to do, you know. Tinnitus can lead to suicide. It can lead to alcoholism, drug use. There's a lot of things there, but yeah. So to get kind of the right information so that you can understand it, because the hardest thing with tinnitus is kind of acceptance of the situation. And this is it's very easy to understand. If you go with a loud noise in your ears over a long period of time, there's nothing you rather want than to get rid of this noise, and then to be told there's nothing you can do about it, you know. It's very, very tough, but there is things you can do about it. But it's on a very personal level. So it's mindset, kind of, and you have to be very strong and have some ground rules that guide you, and you can know it will get better, but it will never go away completely, and that's to be able to accept the reality is the first step, and then you can focus focus your attention to other things that actually make you happy. And so it's kind of a lot of self-reflection in a good tinnitus treatment. And you get to know yourself, be aware of yourself, and that's very important, I think. And that is something you can translate to other areas of your life, you know. So there's not there's always something good in a bad situation. So it's about focusing on the positive and identify positive aspects of your life you really kind of want to increase, and turn your focus away from what is of less importance, you know, and you really don't want in your life anymore. So yeah, back to hearing loss again, a lot of people get a noise damage when they are young. That's a kind of a dip in the audiogram around 4003 and 3 or 4000 hertz, and this is a hearing loss most people live pretty well with. The real problem is when the presbyacusis or the age-related hearing loss comes in addition. Then you can kind of have a sensation that you almost lose a lot of hearing overnight, because what's really important to hear is consonants, and that's also you can see that in writing also. If you take away all the consonants from a story, you can still read the story. But once you remove the consonants, it's getting really hard, and that's because the consonants are kind of it brings the meaning to the language, and that's very important. When you speak to people with a hearing loss, they say, no, it's not that I hear so bad, it's all the others that don't speak clear enough, and when you lose consonants, when you don't hear consonants anymore, it feels like people are mumbling, and that's really yeah, a problem sometimes. Very often, especially men, has a high probability of not acknowledging their hearing loss, and that's very often, the wife are kind of bringing their husbands to the hearing clinic, and that way you don't have the motivation. So you kind of got to enlighten the motivation for the person with the hearing loss. They have to see in what way can this help my life getting better. When they see that, you can create motivation. If their wife are telling them you have to use a hearing aid, that it's no use really to give them a hearing aid, because they do not, they are lacking the personal motivation, which is very important. So it's hearing is a wide field, and it affects us all. There's this widely spread misunderstandings or lack of knowledge, maybe, on for example, how do you speak to a hearing impaired person? And most people think, Well, I just raise my voice. I just speak louder or maybe even shout. And that is not the way you speak to a hearing impaired person. If you want to get understood to a hearing impaired person, and I guess everybody here knows one, is to speak slowly and clearly, very slow and very clear. That's the way you speak to hearing impaired persons. With a hearing aid, their hearing should be, yeah. You know, there's something about expectations. What can you expect from a hearing aid? And you can never expect to get your normal hearing back. It's a remedy that can help you hear sounds you otherwise wouldn't hear. But the sense of hearing is a very complex sense, and you're not getting everything back, you know. We are audiologists, we are not God, to put it that way. So it's to have the right expectations. If you kind of expect to get your normal hearing back, that won't happen, even with a hearing aid to $5,000, you know. But you can get a pretty good result, and that's what you should seek. I personally think we have to, you know, the US market is kind of, it's not really good, because only about 10% of US citizens are mending their hearing losses when they get one. And that's no surprise when a hearing aid costs around $5,000, a set of hearing aids. So so it's a and when you see that I read something about that 60% of Americans never have been able to make a buffer over $1,000, and that would explain a lot. But I am also working on some side projects that I hope can do something about that, because, you know, 10% of the US market is valued at around $5 million. 5 billion, yeah. Yeah, 5 billion, I think. So it's a huge market, and I think it would be in someone's interest to make good hearing aids that cost less. So I have been working on a lot of projects in audiology. I'm also working on a new way to test hearing. You know, we still test hearing about the same way today as in the birth of audiology in the years after World War II. So that's almost 80 years with no innovation on procedure. And that is not in the interest of the 1.5 billion people in the world with hearing issues. So So it's today a lot of the new disorders of the ear are kind of noise related, and we still have a audiometry that is kind of based on measurements in silence, and that makes it really hard for people with, for example, auditory processing disorder, who can kind of be lost in the system for years before getting the right diagnosis, if they ever get it, you know. So they have to kind of really fight. But if we have a new audiometry, we can identify this already at the first visit at an audiologist, and that would make the road to the right diagnosis way cheaper, way easier, and shorter. So we really should do that. So
Martin, can I jump in? I know you said you could ask questions as we go, and I have a lot of them for you, because I want to bring some clarity to the people that are watching. Is that okay with you?
yeah, perfect.
Okay, all right. So from talking to you, I have come up with 3 different types of people that could benefit from booking with you on Telehealth today. So I want you to, I'm going to tell them to you. I want you to confirm that they would be a good person to book with you, and then give kind of a brief overview on how you would help their lives. So the first one is someone that has noticed a decline in their hearing. They've never got a hearing aid, they've never had it looked at, but they're wondering, should I get a hearing aid? Is my hearing going out? I assume that would be a good person to talk to.
Yeah.
The second one would be someone that has a ringing in their ears, and but it's not always constant. Sure, if it's tinnitus, they want to get that looked at, or what's it called? Diagnosed, right? And then the third one is someone that already has a hearing aid, but is still not happy. They're not happy with their eye doctor or their ear doctor or their hearing aid, and they just want to improve their life. Is it fair to say all 3 of those people would be a good fit for someone to book with you?
Yeah.
And if so, what kind of process do you take them on to help improve their life? How do you diagnose what they got going on?
I absolutely think all of those are very important, and would be a good fit. The ones with hearing aids, they are kind of my most targeted group, you know, because uh, they get all this information at a hearing clinic, and they come home and they don't remember it, you know. So when they are experiencing problems with their hearing aids, if the hearing aid don't work, how do I change the filter? Am I destroying anything here if I do this, and stuff like that? I'm happy to help them, you know. And also I can also answer questions from anybody about hearing. So I think it was a good 3 groups you defined there, James. So yeah, I think I can help all of them.
Okay. And just curious, do you have like audio software or something that would actually test someone's hearing and give you like a more accurate diagnosis of where they're currently at, or do you refer them out to others, or how does that work?
I do not have so that I can make a online hearing test. but I can adjust hearing aids through software. So that's a possibility. So we meet at a telemedicine app from one of the 6 giant hearing aid producers. That would be Videx, Sivantos, Oticon, Sonova, Starkey, and GN Resound. So yeah.
Okay. And well, I just wanted to touch on this. You said people we are basically, if you live long enough, you're gonna have hearing problems. Can you express how that works with like the
Yeah.
human body in your opinion? Like what age would someone expect and why does that happen to the human body?
Yeah, a very good question. We're at our physical top when we're around 27, 28 years old. And when we peak, the hearing starts to decline. But it's a long way from there until it comes into the speech area, of hearing. So normally we hear around at our peak we hear from 20 to 30,000 hertz, 25 to 20 to 30,000 hertz, and from there it kind of goes down in such a form, and if you've seen the audiogram of some elderly people, you always see this slope uh, this way, actually. So it's very important to kind of be aware of that. Normally, this don't come into your hearing area before you are, let's say, 65, 70 years old. But it's very dependent on what kind of sound environments you've been living in before this, So have you been working at a factory with very loud noises all day? You are more disposed for hearing loss at an earlier age. But when you're getting around 70, 80 years, it usually have started for almost everyone. So, but it's individual. Some people have very good hearing also when they're very old. But it's seldom to see somebody at 90 with a normal hearing. That don't happen much, actually.
That's good. That's good. Okay, another thing I wanted to touch on. I agree and disagree with one thing you said. I do believe it is important for a patient to have the a real life expectation. However, I'd still like to consider the possibility anything is possible. But that being said, the only reason I say that is to let me into my next question. Because you talked about tinnitus. there's a saying that when people that get lost in the woods, they die of shame. They don't die because an animal eats them or of hunger or of thirst. They die of shame. They essentially don't feel they're going to get out, and so they give up, right? And a lot of this is like emotional training as well. But when you talk about it with hearing, you're just focused directly on that hearing, but you want to take their mind away from what's bothering them onto something positive. That can be used in almost all walks of life. So I am just a little curious at some of your methodology on how to do that, because it is so common, even outside of hearing issues.
Yeah, that's a very good question, James. And this is very true, especially for women, I think. You know, the perception of having a hearing aid for it can be both women and men, but you know, in my clinical practice, I experience this quite a lot, and they are, for the first, they are not aware of what's on the market on hearing aids, and they are not aware of how invisible modern hearing aids are. They are kind of sitting at home, and they are this, and they remember these big hearing aids from the 70s or something, you know, and they are definitely not gonna have that, and there's a lot of shame in that, you know, but in reality it's nothing to be ashamed. Oh, you know what I always used to say to my clients was, okay, if you see somebody with a hearing aid, what do you think then? You know, and it was never anything negative, you know. And people are thinking, if somebody sees me with a hearing aid, they think I'm disabled, kind of like in a wheelchair, but people don't. Today, almost everybody goes around with something on their ears, you know, and not only hearing impaired. You got these AirPods for mobile use. And it's really not a big deal, and nobody who sees it kind of gives it a second thought. Maybe if okay, you may think, okay, hearing impaired, then I have to speak clearer, and you know, that could be a fact, but it's really very seldom that people are having those views that you're afraid of, and that make you feel shame, you know. That's a personal thing. That's not something real. So it's very important to be aware of that. I love that question, actually. It was very relevant.
No, that's good. Thank you. But to further on it, like directly with tetanitis, like what's just one method that you get for getting people to take their mind off of it?
Well, you classify tinnitus in different areas. When you have really troublesome tinnitus, you can't even sleep at night. I mean, and then you kind of need some remedies. And one remedy that is good in those coincidences is kind of a sound pillow, or you can find some relaxing tinnitus sounds on your mobile phone, or buy a sound pillow. If you get a partner and the partner don't want to listen to this, as a sound pillow is a way better alternative, because it don't disturb your partner. And these remedies are kind of full of possibilities for you get kind of water coming in at sea, you know. You get wood sounds with birds and everything, and you get waterfall, lot of masking noises that you can find relaxing, and that can help you take the focus away from tinnitus. What I was saying, what I didn't answer a while ago was the expectations. If, you know, there are people working on curing hearing right this minute. And I have not seen anything very promising from them in the research world yet, but who knows what can happen. But normally, here hair cells in the inner ear are not replaceable. So when they're lost, they're lost. And that's often the sad truth about hearing. And then what you can expect is is to hear those sounds again, to hear the consonants you are missing, you know, to get clarity in speech, and it makes it very much easier to hear, but it will never be as good as normal hearing in, for example, a noisy environment. In a noisy environment, it's hard even for normal hearing people in, for example, a cocktail party. It's very, very, very hard to hear. And for a hearing impaired person, it's it's way harder, to put it that way. And this is not fixable through a hearing aid, even though you get some help with noise cancelling and stuff like that. But if you can't really expect to hear everything and everybody, and like you did when you were young. Not yet, at least. Hopefully, they will come up with a solution, but today it's not possible. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. That was a great answer to my question regarding managing expectations. You answered that beautifully. Thank you. And I see Dr. Imama has her hand up. I'm going to let her have a chance. You have a question?
Yes, hi. Thank you for the nice presentation. It's really informative. My question is regarding tinnitus. Um, I think I've missed the initial part, so I don't know if you talked about the causes of it, what can cause it, and is there any medical treatment for it, like some medicine that the patient can take that can cure or at least reduce or subside tinnitus? And the other question is regarding the COVID vaccine, because many patients that I see, they complain of tinnitus, especially after getting the COVID vaccine. So is there any study that shows a link between those vaccines and this tinnitus? Yeah.
Yes. I'll take your last question first.
Mhm.
There is a connection, and this is proven in multiple studies. Multiple is maybe the wrong word. A few studies, at least.
Okay.
So there is a scientific connection, which is proven.
So it wasn't tested before, like any case didn't come when it was during the testing phase, and it just randomly came up and the vaccine was actually given to the people? How?
I haven't really read this articles myself. I just read kind of the abstract, you know,
Mhm.
and from my one of them was testing.
It was especially with Pfizer, I think. Mainly the cases were with the Pfizer vaccine
Yeah.
because I myself took it and I too faced this
Okay.
tinnitus after it. Yeah.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
tried to dig in and see.
I know there is a proven connection between
Mm.
COVID and tinnitus,
Okay.
but I don't really know the details about it. I can check it up and get
Sure.
back.
No. Okay.
And first question was very interesting.
What causes it and what could be the treatment for it?
Yeah, and that's really the problem with tinnitus, you know. People think when you're talking about tinnitus, it's all the same, but it isn't, you know. We have multiple causes for tinnitus, and some are even treatable. If you so sometimes it's the tensor tympani,
Hmm.
uh,
The
the,
eardrum.
yeah, the smallest muscle in the body, I think, which
Yeah.
is kind
Overstretched.
yeah, and
Hmm.
and and this if it's like that, it can be treatable. Also, you get this muscle. I don't. That's gone.
Spasms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often it can uh,
Mm.
be helped through massage on that, but
Okay.
not often because it's a very very small part that has that. But
Mm.
compared to all the other parts, but you know, some tinnitus origins from the inner ear,
Yeah.
and kind of yeah.
It's
Uh,
even linked to diabetes as well because at the later stages of diabetic patients, they do complain of tinnitus as well. So
yeah, and
multiple causes are there, I think.
yeah, there's a lot of causes, and you also got from the hearing nerve. It can be
Mm.
placed there, it can be placed in the head, you know. So if you find a solution for tinnitus, it won't help everybody. It may
Mm.
help a small group or a big group, you know, but it won't help everybody. And that's kind of a very common
Issue
mistake
with the treatment.
I feel
Mm.
normal people have about this, because they think tinnitus is tinnitus, but it isn't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really a lot of
So
very
first we need to know the cause of it to get it treated.
yeah.
That should be the point. Yeah.
First identify the cause, and then but you, mostly you can't really treat it. It's about making the best of the situation.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, unless it's something treatable.
Treatable correlate. Yeah. And any treatment available, like any tablets, anything that helps with vertigo can help with the tinnitus as well, like
Uh,
Stemetil or.
it all depends on the cause again, you know. If you got for example Meniere's disease,
Hmm.
you can be treated with steroids, or but it's all dependent on
The
what.
cause of it.
Yeah, but I am not a doctor. I'm only a audiologist, so I'm kind of out of
Yeah.
my field.
I understand.
But I know these things, but it's not kind of my field. I'm not the prescribing the drugs, you know. So
Okay, I understand.
we test the hearing and test the tinnitus
Hearing.
sometimes. You know?
Mhm.
So, but thank you for very interesting questions.
Thank you. It was very informative. Thank you for your talk.
Yeah, thank you as well, Dr. Imam, for those good questions. That was very good. We are almost out of time. We got less than 5 minutes left, but I see Warner has his hand up, so I'm going to let him ask his question, and then we'll probably just cut it at that. But that was a great presentation. Thank you for being here. Warner, go for it.
Yeah, it was very insightful, and I will ask all my questions also in our other meeting, since Martin is also in Tech One, and we can talk a lot. But Dimitri took the time to ask his questions in the chat, and since he took the effort to make these questions, and I guess he will review later on YouTube. So maybe you can answer his questions still here, so that he can also see your thoughts about these topics in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, you mentioned the painful and discomforting sensation of tinnitus can be reduced or mitigated. What are the clinical mitigations for these sensations, and how are they implemented in the treatment plan? And that kind of depends on what kind of tinnitus you're having again. But what we are trying to do is alter or change the focus of the client. You know, it's really hard to have one sound in the head 24/7. It's and someone just saying don't listen to it is it don't work like that, because it's very hard to not hear. So it's about changing the focus and try to focus on other things, try to trick your brain. That's kind of what we are trying to do. Some hearing aid manufacturers, Jabra is not a hearing aid manufacturer. They are producers of PSAPs, personal sound amplifying products, and they are welcomed on the US market now as OTC hearing aids, over the counter. And I think that's a great thing, for example, for people with Meniere's disease, which have fluctuating hearing loss. On some Jabra devices, you can take a hearing test by your own, which is very helpful for these guys, because the hearing alters, you know, and often they can be looked at as really problematic patients at hospitals and such, because they are never satisfied, and that's no big deal, because that's no wonder, because their hearing alters all the time, you know. But let's see, what was the question? Some hearing aid manufacturers, Jabra, have proprietary audiology and software tools. Do vendor-neutral audiology assessment tools exist? Yes, it does. I'm not in the US, but from what I know of the US market, these audiologists in the US are now also selling OTC hearing aids. So your answers you can get at an audiologist, which is a better option than going out and trying to buy your own stuff, because it's a very hard market to navigate, and you may risk buying the wrong tools for your hearing. And then you have to go buy another, and then it's no longer a cheaper option, if you get what I'm meaning. So vendor or neutral audiology assessment tools exist. Yes, for normal hearing aids, they all use the same software. And I guess I'm not really sure how that is with the OTC hearing aids, because I never tried it actually, but I can kind of imagine it exists, but don't take that as I really actually don't know, but I hope it does. Let's put it that way. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I was very frightened that how can I speak for 1 hour, but that seemed to be very easy when once you just looked a bit.
You did great. Thank you for being here. Very informative. And I'm sure Dimitri will appreciate seeing his questions answered at the end of this meeting. For all you guests at home, anyone that's ever had hearing problem, difficult hearing, anything, take your life back. Book an appointment with Martin on telehealthtoday.net, and get that diagnosed so you can get back to living again. Thank you all for watching. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Martin, especially for the presentation. And we will see you guys in 1 week. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. All right. Thanks.